Hi, just wanted to go into a bit more detail about what I was doing in my last video, and if you didn't see that, it was a review of the P790 against the D9 Forge, the 2023 model. And during that test I was using what I described as my normal swing and then a fade swing. So what I was doing there was I have over the years played with a little bit of a draw, and over the last year or so, through a cruel twist of fate, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, that draw on the driver has turned into a duck hook on occasion, and basically a worry that the ball is going to go miles left if I'm not careful. Now, I worked through the various criteria that I needed to get rid of that, and came to the conclusion that the only way I could actually get rid of it was actually to do a fade swing. And that changed the whole feel of the swing completely, which is fine. I would like to hit a neutral shot. I'm not desperately looking to be able to hit a fade all the time. I just want to hit a fairly neutral shot, and I want to get rid of an excessive left shot. Now on the irons, funnily enough, the draw is quite gentle. I don't tend to hit a duck hook. There's more loft on the iron, there's more backspin going on, so it's not as aggressive when that hook comes in. But on the driver, it's the lost ball territory if I do it. It was ruining the enjoyment of the game, to be honest. I was going out not able to hit through the ball in the same way with the same confidence that I've had. As I say, I looked at the various components of hitting a hook, and to run through them quickly with you, just so you can check them off if this is something you're doing, because I imagine if you're watching this video, it probably is. The first things to look at are aiming and then grip. So aiming can be that you're aiming too far right and that you're causing your body and your brain to have to make up for that. So it's very easy as a right-hander to aim too far right. I see it probably 95% of my lessons, people aiming right and coming over the top and doing a classic slicer swing to get it back to the target. But a better player, a slightly lower handicap, somebody who's got a naturally good swing, they don't tend to do that over the top move. They will tend to bring the ball back by moving it right to left. So what you'll end up with sometimes is you'll see maybe your club champion will be somebody who plays at the course all the time, has a little low, short backswing like this, and hooks the ball back to the target, and they get very good hand-eye coordination, they play a lot, and they can do it time and time again. That's because quite often they will be slightly close to the target, they're coming inside and they're drawing the ball back to the target. So that was the first thing I checked. Second thing I checked was my grip. Make sure the grip is neutral. That when I look down, I can see one, maybe two knuckles at the very most on my left hand. I don't want to see the whole of the back of my hand. That's a hooker's grip. That's one that will cause you a lot of trouble. And also the right hand doesn't want to be too far under as well. That's a classic hooker's grip there. So if I hold that up to the target, to the camera a bit more, that there is your hooker's grip. And what I'm talking about is getting the hand over this way a little bit more on top and round to the left. You should always be in the base of the fingers with your grip and nice and loose, but that's more your neutral grip. So, I mean, I didn't think I'd developed a hooker's grip, and I hadn't really, but I started to weaken it off and all the rest of it, and found that still there were shots in there that I would hit a big hook, and I thought, well, I'm not aiming too far right, I'm not got a hooker's grip, why am I doing this? So the next thing you think about is your takeaway. Am I taking the club too far inside? Am I going flat round myself and round myself this way? And I think I was doing that a little bit, so that was one thing that I added in. So I started to make sure I was creating room on the backswing and making sure the club was not going too close to my body and inside this way. The other thing I was making sure I wasn't doing was closing the club face on the backswing. So if you look at it there, that club face is looking at the ball. If I keep that club face looking at the ball too much, and now the club face is looking at the ground as I'm going back there, that can cause you to be very short in your backswing, but also closes the face over when you get to impact. So that was something also I looked at, made sure that thing that you see Justin Thomas doing, where he gets back and he's checking his backswing, that he's in that kind of position with the club face not looking directly at the ground, somewhere in between, or looking, if I had a watch, it's looking out that way, it's not looking down at the ground. So that gets the club in a neutral position, again, doesn't encourage it to hook. So doing all these things, and I'm still getting a little bit of a hook. Now, only thing then is your impact position and your downswing are such that whatever you do here is doing everything you do perfectly. You can still get that club too far on the inside and then flip the hands over, stay behind it and get it going, coming back right to left. And that's kind of what I was doing, and that's what I needed to get rid of. And the best way I've found through trial and error and teaching and all the rest of it is just basically trying to hit a fade. That is the opposite swing path and feel to what you're doing that's causing the hook, and it's something that you just need to put up with and do and try until you get rid of the flippy hands and the inside swing path, and you get used to doing a slightly different swing path. And then you can start to slowly and surely forget about it, and that becomes your norm until another cruel twist of fate and you start going back the other way. And you have to start the process all over again. But that's the joy of golf. Now, this isn't unusual. I mean, if you look at top tour pros, you'll get somebody playing absolutely brilliant for a while and suddenly it deserts them. So there's little things that come in all the time because you're not a robot, because you're flesh and blood. You do things slightly differently over time. You don't always do exactly the same thing, and that can happen gradually over time. So it is unfortunate when it does happen and you have to go to such a different feel. It's not that enjoyable to do, but it's something that you have to put up with to get things better. So I'll show you roughly what I mean is going on. If I start with a normal swing, so if I don't think about anything and I just try and hit a straight shot, I think I got that one all right. And there you can see that's actually drawing a little bit too much. Hit it decently, started a little bit right of the white line, and then it finished on the left hand side of the line. So that's okay. Most of my good iron shots don't even do that much. They'll come back and they'll go reasonably straight. But that, I mean, that's only, I don't know what I'm worried about, that's only 5 yards left of the line. So it's a decent shot. And it's gone 176 in there, 190. So I've hit it decently. But that's me not thinking about it. And that's okay, and that's fine. I could play like that, and I still like to think I could do that when I want to do it. But I've started trying to hit fades even on my irons because I want it to disappear for the driver. So when I stand up to a driver, I don't feel odd suddenly just trying to do a fade swing just for that. So this is the fade swing. So for the fade swing, I would like to think I'm standing square, but a lot of the time I'll edge a little bit open just to encourage this all to happen. So at the moment, I'm probably just flaring this left foot out a little bit. I'm slightly bringing the left foot back a bit, just to open up the hip angle there to allow me to feel like I can swing in this way. On the way back, what I do for the fade swing is I just feel like I keep it outside a little bit more. So I don't just relax and just let the club go wherever it wants to. I'm actually trying to keep it a little bit outside the line. I'm trying to imagine it going out this way and back this way to the left. Very, very slightly across the ball. So I go out here, and the feeling I have on the way down is trying to feel like I keep the face open and cut slightly across it. So I'm feeling like I'm trying to start the ball left of that line and let it come back because I've kept the face open slightly to that line. I haven't let it turn over and the hands flip and do that. I've continued the face looking towards, a bit more towards the target for a little bit longer. And that's the only feeling I have. And I feel like I finish across here more. My hands are a bit lower across my body. I feel like when I watch it on video, that when I do the draw swing, my hands swing up higher, up like this. And so the feeling is much more across and to the left when I finish that swing. So I'll try and hit one. It doesn't always fade, and I'm not necessarily looking for a big cutty swing, but I just don't want to see that ball turning that way. I want to see, if anything, losing the ball a little bit to the right, maybe after a fairly straight takeoff. I think I got that one okay. And there's that little leak right. Started fairly straight on the line, so I didn't swing away across myself. Brought it back quite neutral, didn't swing out to the right on that one. A little bit more straight down the line, which is kind of what I want ultimately. And I just left the face a little bit open, so it finished 14 yards to the right rather than 5 to the left that time. So I'll try and hit another one. Again, I'm trying to start, feels though I start this ball to the left. Don't know if I got that coming back. Well, there's an example. I didn't hold the face open as much there as I wanted to, but that ultimately would be the sort of shot I'm looking for. So that's dead straight down the line. I've lost that. It's like, that's 2 yards to the left. That's fine, but didn't sort of fall that way. It kind of just went slightly across to the left, which is fine. What I generally find on the fade swing on the figures is that the spin rate goes up a little bit when I do hit the fade, which is fine. It'll be just because I'm coming at a slightly different angle, maybe a slightly steeper angle of attack than the shallow inside, and it's just creating a little bit more spin, but it's not excessive, and it's something I can deal with. But ultimately, as I said, I'm not desperately trying to hit a fade on every shot. I'm just trying to get rid of my hook swing on the driver. So that's how I'm dealing with getting rid of a hook. If you're struggling with a hook, try some of these ideas. Make sure you look at your aiming to start with, check your grip, and then start to look at your swing and the mechanics of what you might be doing, and try perhaps that idea of hitting a fade and see if that helps get rid of it. As it certainly does help me, even though, as I say, it's not that enjoyable to do at the start, and I'd much rather just stand up and swing and not think about anything. But this is what has to go, and unfortunately that's what a lot of my students have to think about as well when you give them things to go away and work on. It helps you understand how that process feels as well when you start to work on these things yourself as a golf pro. So hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.